Good afternoon. Hello from ReFashioned Art. Welcome to the ReFashioned Art Studio. It is a balmy summer afternoon here in Arizona. Hope you are having wonderful weather wherever in the world you are, maybe watching from. I think it's like 106, 107, maybe 110. Who's counting at this point? And it is feeling a tad bit moist for my taste, so it feels really hot. But I'm in here in my teeny tiny studio. AC is freezing cold, so all good. Little Drubbles! How are you, my friend? Rick, the most fabulous artist I know. Thanks for joining, Rick. Zen Vogue, thanks for joining. So guys, want to just share a few things. One, I just met with one of my very, very, very good friends today, Sin Silva. You probably know of her. She's another artist here in Arizona, does amazing work, and we partner on all kinds of events, and we just have the best time. And we work really hard and we work really well together. So we had just a little planning meeting, and mark your calendar to a very special preview showing of our newest works. That's going to be, 4 to 6 weeks before the actual open studio. Pausing due to poor connection. Come on, Wi-Fi, work with me here. So if you are part of our inside circle, you are one of our collectors. You are part of, the media here that has covered either of our works, then you will get that invitation to our pre-show, which is an invite-only cocktail party. It is going to be mega superb. The open studios will be superb, but this is going to be mega superb. And again, it's going to be about DM me, email me, Laura at IamLauraMadden.com. We can set up a video showing. We can do a video call, a virtual tour of my studio and my available collection. If you are local and you are a serious art collector, or if you are in the media and you are serious about reporting on my art, then please DM me or email Laura at IamLauraMadden.com, and we can set up a private showing here at my studio to see my work and to learn more about my work. And I love to do that for people, and I'm doing them all the time. It really is fun to connect with actual collectors and art enthusiasts and other people in the arts, so please don't hesitate. So you might have noticed, little diversion here from the topic, I switched up my backdrop. I have another one of my tapestries. This one is really, really fun. This was a custom piece that I created for Smith House Atelier, the interior design studio, which is located in Arcadia. So that was up, I don't even know how long, 8 months. It was up for a while. And this was created for her atelier. It was amazing. And so now it's hanging in my studio. This is a cotton tapestry. So it is painting on cotton. If you look at the edges, it is tacked up right now. So that means it's unstretched. So of course it can be displayed as so if you're interested in purchasing this piece or displaying this piece. It can also be stretched. So any of the framers, I have my own framers here in town. Where you live, I'm sure I can help you find a framer. If you did want to have this stretched like a canvas, for instance, on stretcher bars to hang. This is in example right here. So if you did want to have this piece stretched, it is, I think it's roughly 94 inches by 96 inches. Forgive me, I don't have the calculation in feet at the moment, but I will put that in my stories later today. But it is about roughly 94 inches by 96 inches. If you did want to have this stretched, just like, your standard canvas, I do have a framer. Framers here locally can help you find a framer wherever you are locally to stretch this for you. And it's actually not really much of an investment at all. I have not done it yet because if I do, I will need a truck. I will need a box truck to transport it. And that's not something that I care to do at the moment, quite particularly, but it really is very, very cool. Very, very cool. Very, very fun. So you guys know most of my work is 2D abstract. I do a lot of black and white. I do a lot of minimal palette art to pursue my art professionally as this business. I was painting a lot of faces, and those were only for myself. And I think subconsciously it was part of me kind of like accepting my identity. You know, the face, it's like you're looking back at yourself. I did do one that was very cool, and I named it Self-Portrait. Truly, it looked nothing like me, I don't think. Other people saw the resemblance, but I don't think it looked anything like me. Anyway, I named it Self-Portrait. That has long sold at a gallery, but I do feel like subconsciously, you know, very early on, I had a very hard time actually taking that leap, taking that step. It really was a leap of faith because I'm completely self-taught. Transparently, I have no art background. I have no family in the art business. I have no friends in the art business. Well, now, of course, I do, but at that point, I knew one artist. At that point, I knew one working career artist. And, you know, of course, growing up in Boston, we're always going to museums. We have so many world-class museums there. But museums were a place where it almost felt like artists go to die. You know, the artwork I saw was of mainly artists who were deceased. And so an artist was almost more like a character. It was almost more like a fantasy. It wasn't a real thing. It wasn't a real person. Or as, you know, a child, you know, from a very young age growing up and going to these museums, that was kind of how it landed for me. And so I never saw that as a actual potential, you know, avenue for me. So it's really interesting, but always loved arts, and I've always felt that transformational effect of art, you know, just feeling so empowered, so bold, so badass just from looking at a certain piece of art. And now, you know, then as an adult, fast forward 20 years, for almost 20 years of my life, I was making art only for myself. I truly was a closet artist. I wouldn't even call myself a hobbyist. I would paint every time we moved to get my home to look and feel a certain way. I knew how I wanted to feel in my home. And that was, you know, the art I created was based on that. And so every time we moved, different art for a different home, different me. Truly, I changed every time, every different city we've lived in. And, but I didn't tell anyone. It was like really a secret. And so, again, I never could accept that as a serious outlet for me, a serious avenue for me to pursue. So anyway, the portraits, long story short, I obviously have a lot to say about this, but they are, bottom line, minimal abstract. Let me see if I can share some of these with you. So this one is not necessarily minimal abstract. This one, so we've got lots of color. Then we have, so that's one that is still available. We've got twin, love, you guys know I love black and white. I love black and white and gold. So that one is available. And then we have, that was twin 2. And then we have, okay, that was twin 2. We have twin 1. These are original works. So they are not exactly the same, but they obviously look very similar, and they are framed in identical frames. So they look very cool together. So twin 1 and twin 2, those are available. Biba. So again, these are like sisters. They are framed in identical frames, but both original works of art. So they are not the same, but look fabulous together. Don't have to go together. I'm selling them separately. Or of course, you can have both. And Della did have a pair. She did have a twin dom that sold to a fabulous guy here in town. But Della is available. And then, last but not least, from the collection, this is Jolie Lud. And this was just a really fun one, really from the early days. But this one, it is time for it to go to its forever home. And these are truly, guys, it's time for me to cut the cord. It's time for me to close the chapter on this series, essentially. And I don't plan to be making any more portraits. I will make them for, I make gifts for collectors, thank you cards, maybe for my own self. I have some other ones that I will not be selling, but so these are marked at super reduced prices, 50% what I would normally be selling them for. You cannot find these on my website. I will share again later today in my stories the actual link to access these pieces. If you're on my email list, and I hope you will get on my email list if you're not, I did introduce this exclusively to my email list to start, and now maybe half of them have sold. And so moving this last portion, I am opening this up to my whole audience. But if you'd like to get on my email list, again, I will be